Hello there, and welcome to the first episode of what will hopefully be a series. My name is Videosyncratic, and as far as I have seen, while a few people have explored some of the many flags in Europa Universalis IV, there has yet to be a systematic take on the topic, and the few flags that are covered tend to be the ones people are already familiar with. Thus, I have decided to create the series to do just that, and to start, I have chosen an area of the world that is both familiar and also somewhat overlooked, especially in terms of vexillology: Ireland. However, before I begin, I will say a few words of warning. Firstly, I suspect this video is going to end up being quite long, so I will leave a table of contents pinned in the comment section below so you can easily navigate to any given flag. Secondly, while I really will try to pronounce all Irish words correctly, it is a language I do struggle with in terms of pronunciation, so I am likely to slip up at some point. Thirdly and finally, the origin stories behind different elements of a flag can vary quite a lot, as they are often rooted in folklore, so the stories I give are not the only possible origin, and you may see entirely different explanations in different sources. In EU4 terms, Ireland is comprised of 4 areas, which broadly correspond to the 4 traditional provinces of Ireland: Ulster, Leinster, Munster and Connaught. These provinces are the largest subdivisions of Ireland, and while they have not served administrative or political purposes for a long time, they remain important from a cultural and historical perspective to this day. The Irish word for province is cúige, which stems from an Old Irish word meaning fifth. As you may surmise from this, historically there was a 5th province named Meath from an Old Irish word meaning middle in reference to its location relative to the other provinces. There are a total of 14 Irish tags in EU4. At the typical start date of 1444 AD, 12 of these tags are active and playable, although they are all one province minors. An additional tag is for the Pale, the province occupied by England at the game's start, and the other tag is for a nation formable by any tag of Irish culture that meets the criteria. I think a very good place to start would be this formable nation, which is Ireland itself. The flag used by Ireland in EU4 is a silver-stringed golden harp on an azure field. This design is taken wholesale from the royal standard and coat of arms of the Kingdom of Ireland, which was formed after King Henry VIII of England passed the Crown of Ireland Act in 1542. That said, this coat of arms may actually predate this, and the symbol of the harp and the colour blue have long been associated with Ireland, with the earliest record being in the Weinbergen roll from the 1280s. The exact reason for the association of Ireland and harps is not known. The harp in question is modelled on a clarsach, a medieval Irish instrument sometimes known as a Gaelic or Irish harp. In fact, the harp used on the modern Irish coat of arms is directly based on the so-called Brian Boru harp, which can still be seen today at Trinity College, Dublin. Over the years of its use to represent the Kingdom of Ireland, the harp gradually became more embellished, which led to a variant where the harp takes the form of a winged woman. The colour blue is frequently used on Irish flags, and its use as such is sometimes referred to as St. Patrick's blue. Blue is associated with a mythological personification of Ireland. In turn, she is likely based on a number of real queens bearing the same name as her who lived during the 10th and 11th centuries. This name is Garmlach, and it's a compound name that, taken literally, can be translated to mean Blue Sovereign. I will now move on to the flags used by the provinces of Ireland. A good one to start with is that of Leinster, as it is essentially a palette swap of the Irish flag, just with a green field instead of blue. This is the flag used by the province of Leinster today. The origin of this flag stems from 1642, when it was used as the flag of the Irish Confederation. This was a confederation of Irish Catholic notables, formed after the Irish Rebellion of 1641, and pledging their allegiance to King Charles I against the parliamentarians in the English Civil War. As for how this flag became associated with the province of Leinster, the headquarters of the Confederation were in Kilkenny. As Kilkenny was the principal city of Leinster outside of the Pale, that is, the area directly surrounding Dublin, most frequently subject to direct English control throughout history, the association between Kilkenny and the flag of the Irish Confederation stuck. The coat of arms of the province of Munster depicts 3 golden crowns arranged in an inverted triangle on an azure field. In EU4, this provincial flag is used by Thomond, and this is likely because the Earldom of Ormond was one of the major Norman lordships in the province. Indeed, the 3 crowns on this flag are sometimes said to represent the 3 important Norman lordships of Munster, the other 2 being the Earldoms of Ormond and Desmond. This flag also bears a resemblance to the coat of arms of the Lordship of Ireland, the English system of control over the island prior to 1542. However, in the lordship's arms, the crowns are arranged in a vertical line. One story for why the harp was adopted over this flag relates to the Catholic Church. In legal terms, the Lordship of Ireland was actually a possession of the Pope, held in fief by the King of England, ostensibly to bring the Irish Church into convergence with the Holy See. As the reorganisation into the Kingdom of Ireland took place about a decade after Henry VIII's break with Rome, the 3 crowns are asserted to have represented the 3 tiers of the papal tiara, and thus had to go. Speaking of Ormond, I may as well cover that now, although I will cover Desmond later. The flag Ormond uses in EU4 is simply taken from the coat of arms of the Butler family, the Norman house who held the title to the Earldom of Ormond, as well as several other lordships throughout Ireland. These arms are a simple gold shield with an azure indented fess, and these elements can still be seen on the arms of County Tipperary today. The coat of arms of the province of Connacht is dimediated. One half displays a black eagle on a silver field, and the other an armoured hand holding a sword aloft on an azure field. In-game, this is used by the Gaelic kingdom of Clanricarde, likely because they were the most important player in the province in 1444. The origin of these arms is especially interesting, as they actually trace back to the Holy Roman Empire. These were originally the arms of the Schottenkloster, the Gaelic Benedictine Abbey of St James in the city of Regensburg. Thus, the Black Eagle portion comes directly from the coat of arms of the Holy Roman Emperor, who was the protector of the abbey. The armed and armoured hand likely comes from the crest of the coat of arms of the O'Brien dynasty, as a member of that family is listed as the founder of the abbey in the 11th century. As for how these arms came to be associated with Connacht, there are a few theories, but perhaps the most convincing one is that they were awarded by the abbey to Rory O'Crochach, the King of Connacht and final High King of Ireland before the Norman invasions. In EU4, the coat of arms of Ulster are used by the tag of the same name. This is a red cross on a gold field with a silver shield charged with a red right hand. This is a combination of the coat of arms of 2 of the most important houses of the province. The red cross on a gold field is taken from the House of Burke, who ruled the Earldom of Ulster until the murder of its last ruler in 1333. The red right hand comes from the arms of the O'Neill dynasty. Although typically depicted as a right hand now, the further back you go, the more likely you are to see a left hand instead. The symbol of the red hand is certainly an enduring one, and it predates the introduction of formal heraldry by the Normans. An especially colourful tale describes its origin. When the ancestors of the O'Neill family were approaching the northeastern tip of Ireland, they agreed amongst themselves that who managed to touch the land first could lay claim to it. As the boat neared the shore, one particularly quick-witted warrior cut his own hand off and threw it ashore, ensuring his family's claim to the land for generations to come, and giving birth to a very striking motif in the process. As the O'Neill dynasty were also kings of Tyrone, it should come as no surprise that their flag also has the red right hand. More specifically, in-game Tyrone actually uses the modern coat of arms of Tyrone, which also includes elements from other notable families in the area. These include a black fleur-de-lis to represent the Burrus family, and a black and white shield for the Power family. Additionally, the fleur-de-lis is placed within an 8-pointed star, which represents the 8 ancient baronies that comprised Tyrone. The flag used by the releasable nation of Meath is directly based on the historical coat of arms of the old province of Meath. This depicts a monarch seated in majesty, that is, on a golden throne on the now familiar azure field. The monarch holds a sceptre in his left hand, representing martial power, and his right hand is outstretched, representing justice, them together being 2 important royal prerogatives throughout history. The usage of a king reflects that Meath traditionally encompassed the hill of Tara, the traditional ceremonial seat of the High King of Ireland. With every provincial flag covered, it is now time to move on to the rest. Next up, and to complete the Ulster area, is the Gaelic kingdom of Chia Connell, whose flag depicts a hand holding a red Latin cross on a gold field. This is taken directly from the coat of arms of the ruling house of Tyrone, the O'Donnell dynasty. This image is very old and, like the Red Hand of the O'Neill dynasty, predates the introduction of formal heraldry. The founder of this house is Neil of the Nine Hostages. It is said that one of his sons was converted to Christianity by St. Patrick, who marked on his shield the sign of the cross. To finish off Connacht, the next tag on the list is Sligo, the flag of which comprises a cross of silver escallops on a field of sable. This is taken from the modern coat of arms of County Sligo, which also comprises silver escallops on a sable field. However, it is more typical for there to be many scallops, although the arrangement of scallops in a cross shape here may be a reference to the Celtic cross that appears on the modern arms. The meaning of the flag is simple. Sligo is the anglicised form of the Irish name, which in turn can be taken to mean place with shells, named so in reference to the abundant shellfish of the area. The tag of Offaly is located in the Leinster area of the game, and it represents the Gaelic kingdom of Offaly, which only partly corresponds with the present-day county of the same name. The flag of Offaly appears to show a stylised green oak tree atop a hill on a silver field, and I certainly find it one of the more visually incongruous Irish flags. I initially had some difficulty placing it. I even believed at one point it could possibly be a very stylised bog myrtle laurel, taken from the modern coat of arms of County Offaly. However, it is in fact likely based on the coat of arms of the O'Connor family, the long-time rulers of this kingdom. These arms depict an acorn-bearing oak tree, and can be distinguished from those of the other O'Connor family, the rulers of Sligo, by the fact that the tree is on a hill instead of having its roots on display. Again though, this flag is very stylised compared to its source material if this is indeed the case, and I can't help but wonder why this artistic choice was taken. The final tag of Leinster is Kildare, which represents the earldom of the same name. The flag of Kildare is a simple red saltire on a silver field, and its origin is likewise easily to find. As with several other flags we have examined so far, it is taken directly from the coat of arms of the ruling family of the territory, in this case the House of Fitzgerald. The Fitzgeralds were another one of those Norman families who conquered large swathes of territory for themselves, but would later assimilate into Irish culture, with them even noted as being more Irish than the Irish themselves in the 17th century Annals of the Four Masters. In EU4, another branch of the Fitzgerald family rule another Irish tag in 1444, which leads nicely to Desmond, here representing the Earldom of Desmond. Desmond is perhaps the Irish flag I found hardest to place. The in-game flag depicts a silver ship on a sable field, and as far as I have seen, this isn't a close match to anything from the area the tag represents. The closest I have come to a satisfactory origin is from the coat of arms of the city of Cork, by far the most historically important settlement in the area Desmond encompasses. Since at least 1700, the image of a ship has been associated with Cork due to its notable port. Indeed, the English translation of its Latin motto is, a safe harbour for ships. However, the ship on the in-game flag does not resemble that of Cork, and, to me at least, more closely resembles a Berlin, a kind of galley used by Gallo-Norse seafarers of the Hebrides and Isle of Man. If this was the intention, then this is possibly a reference to the fact that early Cork was an important Viking settlement and trading port in Ireland. Last, but certainly not least, is the tag of Munster, perhaps ironically not using the flag of the province of the same name, and actually representing the Gaelic kingdom of Desmond. However, this makes more sense in context because Desmond is a corruption of an Irish term meaning South Munster. Like many other flags seen so far, that of Munster is also taken directly from its ruling family's coat of arms, in this instance those of the McCarthy family. These arms depict a red stag on a silver field. Many families of Munster bear a stag on their arms, as it relates to an ancient myth about kingship amongst their ancestors. According to this myth, the legitimacy of the ruling house is confirmed when a stag enters that house's territory and the animal is hunted. The individual who kills the stag is the future ruler, and the chase delimits the borders of their territory. So, I believe that about wraps up all 14 Irish flags seen in EU4, and I am reasonably certain that I have correctly identified the origins of each, with the annoying exceptions of Offaly and especially Desmond. I hope you have enjoyed the video, or at least found it somewhat interesting. I know that I certainly learned a lot while making it. If you did enjoy it, then please leave a like, and if you are interested in seeing me tackle more of EU4's flags, then please also subscribe and click the bell to receive notifications. Next time, I would like to tackle the rest of the British Isles before I move on to somewhere further afield. If I've missed something, or if I've got something wrong, then please never hesitate to get in touch, either in the comments below, or you can find me on Twitter via my channel page. Anyway, that's all I have to say for now, so thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in the next episode. Ciao!